Santa!
Look what we have here.
Santa, we have very special questions that we want you to have.
Oh, why, thank you.
Very
Thank
special
you.
delivery.
Special delivery from
All our boys and girls here in Haldeman County.
Haldeman County Boys
Just
and
for
Girls.
you.
Well, thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you, Santa.
We'll have to get busy answering that.
Please do.
Thank you, Belinda. Thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
Oh, boys and girls, Santa is so glad to be here in Haldeman to answer all these beautiful questions you gave me. And I brought along Cherry, my favorite elf, to help answer questions. And of course, Mrs. Claus is always along for these events. And there are a couple of questions that they will answer better than I could. Oh, are we ready to start questions?
I think we are, Santa.
All right.
So too, Santa.
First question is from Jacen, Gabriel, and Sawyer. They ask, who wraps all the presents? And Seth and Nate would like to know where I get my wrapping paper. Well, you know, I think I'm going to get my elf to answer that question because they do most of the work.
Well, that's really a hard question because we go all over for our wrapping paper, Santa. You should know that.
Well, I'm sorry.
Well, I used to make our own wrapping paper, but that is a lot of work. So now some of the elves will leave the North Pole and go shopping to the mall. No, I don't go to the mall. We make our paper special. We get all kinds of different designs and colors and flashing paper, just like we have under our tree right here. We've done this all by hand, and it takes us 365 days of a year to get ready for Christmas, for Santa to bring all our presents to you.
The elves and Mrs. Santa don't let Santa do any wrapping because he's not very good at doing corners on the presents. So, and Santa's busy with lots of other work. Next question is from Evee. Evee wants to know who is on the naughty list. I hope it's not me or my brother Magnus. Well, the naughty list this year is very, very short. There are hardly anybody on it because everybody's been so good. The boys and girls of Haldeman County are some of my favorite because they just don't do bad things. And I can tell you, neither you, Evee, nor Magnus are on the naughty list this year. That doesn't mean you might not be next year.
That's true.
Next question. Andrew. Andrew asks, what is Rudolph's middle name? Well, Rudolph has his father's middle name, and he is Donner's son. So his full name is Rudolph Donner Claus. Peet. Peet wants to know, are there deer and dinosaurs at the North Pole? Well, Peet, I've seen a lot of deer. Of course, my reindeer are there, and they live in the North Pole, but I've yet to see a dinosaur. That's not to say there might not be a couple around, but there are no dinosaurs there right now, from my knowledge. I've seen a lot of toy dinosaurs, of course, in my gifts, but I've yet to see a real one. Next question. This is from Dawson. Dawson's question is, do you like trucks? Well, yes, Santa likes trucks, especially all the kinds of toy trucks that my elves put together and make and distribute. And sometimes when the reindeer are not available or the reindeer are too tired, sometimes Santa will use trucks to move his stuff from one place to the other. So yes, Santa likes trucks. I can't drive trucks, though.
But your elves do an excellent job, Santa, driving the trucks.
They are good truck drivers, yes.
Yes, we
Santa's got too big a belly to sit behind the wheel of a truck.
And I know why.
Excellent questions. These are so good. Question from Thomas. Thomas wants to know, would I ever let a dinosaur pull my sleigh? Well, I guess I would if my crew of reindeer aren't available, or if they were injured, and if I could find a dinosaur. Like I said to the previous question, dinosaurs are pretty rare around the North Pole. But there may be one or two, and if they were willing, they probably would. Okay, and if I had a dinosaur pull my sleigh, that would be pretty noisy when they're landing on the roof. The dinosaurs are usually pretty big. But maybe we could find dinosaurs that are about the same size as the reindeer to fit the sleigh in their harness and like that. These questions are so good. I have to really think about some of them. But you know, they're not all for me. Here's questions for Mrs. Claus.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this is from Ava. Does Mrs. Claus like to eat cookies too? Well, I love to eat cookies, but sometimes Santa doesn't leave too many for me to eat. Usually the plate isn't cleared off. But I absolutely love to eat cookies in front of the fireplace with my Santa.
Oh, you share them with us elves too, don't you, Santa? When you sneak them from Mrs. Claus?
Well, if I can have any left, but usually there's not many left for the elves.
This question comes from Dawn. What does Mrs. Claus cook? Well, I love to cook food. I love to be in the kitchen, but I love to cook foods from all around the world. Sometimes I cook fish and chips, and they come from England. Sometimes it's poutine, and that comes from Canada. Sometimes I cook tacos from Mexico, and let me see. Oh, and I love to make hummus. I like everything. So, and you know what? So does Santa Claus. He loves to eat my cooking. Don't you, Santa?
I love your cooking, Mrs. Claus. That's the problem. I have this big belly.
Oh, thank you, Santa.
It is not just from the other thing. Emma's got another good question. Emma asks, when can I meet you? Well, that's going to be very hard, especially this year. This year with COVID-19 and all the other problems Santa has, this is one of the reasons why I'm answering your questions here, because Santa just cannot get to all the places to have you on my knee and answer questions the way we usually do every year. But I'm really glad you wrote your questions so I can say hi to everybody, because I won't be able to say hi to you one at a time. So from Santa Claus and the elves and Mrs. Claus, we want to say hello to all you, especially you boys and girls who are on the good list. But even the ones that are on the naughty list, we'll say hello to you too. Next question. Avery, Taylor, Blake, Melissa, and Ellie all want to know, what is your favorite cookie? Well, my favorite cookie is ones that are shared with everyone. I like Oreos, I like chocolate chips, as long as they are being shared with the rest of the family. Benji and Kohen. Oh, I get this question very often, and it's very difficult to answer because it's hard to understand. The question is, how do reindeer fly? Well, they are, first of all, very special reindeer. Very special breed of reindeer that have been bred so that they can do that job. But also you know, and I know, that everything around Santa does have a little bit of magic. So there's some Santa magic with the reindeer that helps them fly. Next question is from Grace Ann and Jahveen. Why is my beard so white? They want to know. Well, I'm not sure. I've always had a white beard. As soon as I was able to grow a beard, it was coming out white. But it's kind of handy because when I spill my milk, it doesn't show.
The problem is, Santa, when you have hot chocolate,
Yes,
it shows on your white beard then, and I have to remind you to wipe up.
that's very often, yes. Santa often has what he's eating and drinking on the front of him, in his beard and on his suit. Next question comes from Annabell, Cora, Elly, and Ginny. We moved to a new house, and it does not have a chimney. How will you get in? Well, most of the stories about Santa climbing down the chimney are from the olden days. In the olden days, all the houses had a chimney. In more modern times, some houses don't have chimneys, some have smaller chimneys. But just like in the last question, Santa uses magic so he can get into those townhouses and those condos. He has a magic key that lets him get into all those. So you don't have to worry. We'll be at your place too. Evelynn, Adler, Carrie-Beth, Kyla, Taylor, Lily, and Violet. How do you fly around the world and visit everyone in just one night? Santa has some very special powers. He can sometimes be in 2 or 3 places at the same time. Santa also has a whole crew of very, very hard-working helpers that helps him get all of those toys distributed. And we haven't missed yet. Every Christmas, we've managed to get to every house that we wanted to. So once again, using a little bit of Santa magic and a lot of help from the elves and a lot of help from Mrs. Claus and all of the other helpers from around the world, Santa can get everyone done. Once again, a little bit of Santa magic always helps. Another question. Question from Alana. Do you bring presents for cats and dogs? That's a good question. Of course cats and dogs deserve presents. All Santa's living things get a present at Christmas. If you have a cat or a dog, you might want to get a special present for them. Maybe a special bone or some kitty toys. So that if Santa misses them and doesn't get a present to them, you can be Santa's helper and take care of your pets. Next question is from Finch. Finch wants to know, have you ever seen a polar bear? Well, of course I've seen a polar bear. Polar bears are all around up north. I have polar bears in my backyard at the North Pole. They're very friendly and they're very helpful. I can use polar bears to help me do my work sometimes. Some of my favorite neighbors are polar bears.